Hello, wotv players. I'm Jackie Fox, and let me tell you, this is probably as happy as I have ever been in Arena. To the depths of my soul, I'm a light player. I've been a light player since I started playing this game and instantly went for Sakura off of my FFB memories of how awesome Blossom Sage Sakura was. And I've really had my eye out on my main account for great light vision cards, great light espers, any good light accessorization I can get, and I've got some nice stuff. So I'm not going to say that this team is super budget friendly in its entirety because yes, I am running, actually in this video I am not running both Bahamut's, just Chaos Bahamut, as Addison Ray is equipped Tetris Sylphid for a little extra evasion, which I don't think is really necessary, and when I get to my weekend arena stream, you'll get to see what Addison Ray is like with Bahamut instead of a little bit of extra evasion. But this team has been stupid consistent even in the high ranks, and as you can see, I'm gonna start above 500 because wow, this team just beat everything else like it owed it money. And there's a variety of types of teams that this can beat. Even with the Earth and Ice magic up. Actually, I don't fight a lot of the Earth magic teams because the dominant Earth magic team right now is really scary. I wish I had it for my Earth account. It's Dialdo, King Bradley, and Queen Macherie, and they are a terror, like in any format, but now, A, now that is a viable Earth team, welcome to that meta. But B, now that is a team that can perform on an Earth Magic up map, it's going to be especially dominant. But that team is going to be probably in top ranks from here out. This is a powerful version of the Wind team. However, there is actually a Wind team that I saw that a lot more people are using in exactly the same format, and it's this team in a different order with More the Merrier replaced with MR Dario as their tank. And I mean, it doesn't do bad compared to the performance of some other teams against this team. It's not amazing, but it did pretty good. It did a lot better in higher ranks than you would expect an MR unit like Dario to do. And Dario is not the only MR unit that we're going to be facing off against, and there's some pretty tough stuff. One thing that I'm noticing, I have a little bit more trouble with Eliza specifically. However, it seems like Alaya I can pretty consistently pick on. I'm not sure exactly what it is about Bartz that is getting him through her attacks so effectively. I know he can get pretty good AoE resistance. Also, you're not going to see this happen very many times, but look at look at Locke over here curing Frostbite like a good buddy. That's the buff that's going to give him just ridiculous resistance to any and all damage. But I think some of the upgrades that Eliza got to her kit, in addition to some of the increased accuracy, is really helping her at 140 deal with some of these units, so she's a little bit trickier to deal with. Sweetheart Selir, especially with this set of map upgrades, has been pretty tough. Just the bonus magic damage up, her being a tough competitor. I'm really more built for versus physical, so going up against Sweetheart Selir is pretty tough. In retrospect, I'm a little sad I didn't go after Bobby Hill here, but Lightning, we've been pretty consistent against. The Addison Ray, Elena, and Sylvie version of this team did pretty well against Lightning, and this team really isn't much different. It's not necessarily as evasive, except that I think the sure hit evasion is more consistently landing on Locke than it was on the build that had Elena. So he's more consistently getting courage and re-raise. And I very rarely see him actually go down in a fight. It's actually pretty impressive considering all the shit we were talking about him when his 140 came out, and just all the shit that's been talked about Locke historically, that Addison Rae was really a great upgrade for him. And in a way, I really regret pushing to make my featured unit with Addison Rae for that week in Arena Elena. I mean, she's just my favorite. When I came in 13th in Arena that week, it was an Elena week. I spent some Viz to get there. I might spend some more Viz tonight, maybe, just to see how high I can get. But so far, on Sunday, this team has made it to, I want to say like 100 and... We made it to 111, maybe like 108, 105, 110, somewhere in there. And again, like remarkably consistently, it's been a long time since I've been in Arena and seen streaks that went up to 40. But this team has been not losing all day for all 20 fights for days in a row at this point. And I mean, it's just kind of staggering. Like, they gave us these 3 units as free units in a row. And again, I think that like our retrospect, looking back at what happened with JP, where Bartz was a big deal. Also, this is why you put Alexandrite Ring on your boy, because otherwise he just gets fucking bamfed like that. But this is also why you put the re-raised TMR, the zombie mask from Halloween Raryu, on him. That's one of the rare times you're going to see that guy go down. And maybe this is a loss. Oh, it's not looking good because we don't really have heals. We're just durable and do a lot of damage, and I don't think it's happening for us today. Ooh, wait. Oh, got him with the courage. Why do you have re-raise too, buddy? Well, so actually that is an interesting thing about Vega. He's the only character who can naturally re-raise and courage in his kit, so I guess I just got chatted out by the by another unit, but having re-raise and courage on Locke has meant that he hasn't gone down in most fights, and Bartz is just really good at drawing hate, sustaining it, and wiping out whatever gets in front of him while not going down himself, even though he only has courage, which I'm running from his martialist sub job. One thing that you will notice, the biggest hype piece for Bartz is that he has the ability to add kind of bonus follow-up damage. One, on this map and with this set of buffs, to get him to have courage early on, he's not been using that buff, but kind of secondary to that, he also hasn't really, he's been off in his own lane, so there's not necessarily an opportunity for him to follow up an adjacent ally because there aren't any adjacent to him. And earlier on in the week, before I started recording this video, I was actually running him in the middle so that he would have some chances to use that skill. But it is dead last on his priorities lists of what to do, as you can see with him getting the the Keen Blade in there. Also, another observation, he really likes this 3-hit strike and teleport move. I'm really enjoying Martialist for that. I think it's probably getting past a lot of resistances. Even though there's a lot of times where it doesn't seem like it's doing a lot of damage, but it's still interesting for getting him up in their faces. I mean, again, he's not a tank or anything. But as a brawler, he is good at hanging in there and wiping out whatever's in front of him. For a big part of this is going to be some more of the kit. I really think you run Bartz specifically with the Blood Sword. And part of that is because, especially with Blade Blitz, especially after his limit break, he has the potential to do a lot of damage to other people. He also has good survivability, the ability to keep himself hanging in with 1 HP with courage, so he can turn that around into restoring a good bit of health. If he doubles this up with his attack called Blood Sword, he's getting an additional HP drain modifier. I think you're getting, I mean, at least if you get the critical to activate the Blood Sword he has equipped, then he's going to also get a drain with the Blood Sword attack itself. And he's just really good at healing himself back up at times with his abilities. Like, look at that, just hopping right back up to full health. And that's kind of the only healing that this whole team has. So, you know, other than, I guess, if you count re-raise. But look at that, Alaya, I know that was her basic attack, but she just hit him for under 1,000, he just whacked her for over 10. My matchups have generally been pretty good with Ice so far. It's not just Alaya that's kind of lagging for them. I haven't seen a lot of teams that are running like all new characters or characters that have really new awakenings, or at least Velis, because he's fucking stellar. But I have seen a couple of like Reagan, Howlett, and Velis, which I think is really powerful. I may have faced that earlier in the week and got my ass kicked by it. I don't remember, but I've been avoiding them as I've seen them later. I'm going for some of the older Ice teams, as you'll see throughout this video, and we're matching up pretty favorably against them. I mean, look at that. Barely doing any damage to Bartz with that attack from Agrius. And now we're going to push this guy into a heal spiral. We have... Oh, actually, this is one of the few fights where we lose Locke. But our other two characters ending it at full health. For this next fight... Oh, Capanoma. Let's see, let's keep a tally of just how much health Bartz is going to restore to himself between Blood Sword and, well, Blood Sword. Okay, so Bartz is going to have the opportunity to get his buddy buff on somebody. He loves that. I also love it when he does that. Looks like they're going to be doubling up on the tank. It's okay. I think Addison might have something to say about both of these units. Okay, so we're 1292 healed so far, even though, you know, he hadn't even taken damage yet. That's perfectly fine. Oh, there's another 475, which I believe is almost enough to get him back up to full health. Damn near 10k HP after that. So that's what, like 1700 HP in that fight? Okay, that's not a lot. But it really does help between that, having courage. Even in the worst case scenario, he's more apt. Blade Blitz people do a lot more damage. Pretty cool. There is one particular team, I'll shout them out when they show up, that he will consistently, just because of the way that Hate draws Bartz across the field, that they will actually get him to use his follow-up skill. We'll get to see him get some KOs with that follow-up skill, just for anybody who is waiting for that moment to happen. But it's not going to happen in most of these fights. It's going to be the win team that I was describing to you earlier, that is, for whatever reason, going to work out on because for whatever reason, Dario has more ability to drag my units into the center than the Snow does. Doesn't make much sense to me either. But here's our sweetheart Celia. She does really consistent damage to Bartz in particular. As most magic units do, Bartz is a lot better at fighting physical units, as a lot of this team is, kind of as Addison Ray is. Addison Ray and Bartz together do seem like they're a really good combination against other physical teams, as, you know, I think Barrier Bop especially would be really powerful combined with, I think it's Boka's Protection is the skill that's giving him the physical barrier and the AoE, because then they both have Protect, they both have AoE, and they've both given themselves barriers. Now, you will notice between this video and the next video, if you stick around for that, there are going to be a total of 60 fights. You're not going to see every matchup, however. And the reason for that is that often, especially when you get into the upper hundreds and stuff, your window, which is the 10 ranks ahead of you and the 10 ranks behind you, doesn't change as quickly. So you can fight the same team multiple times. And once I've figured out that I can beat a team, as long as they don't fall too far in rank and thus get me a lower modifier for beating them, the break even is kind of when they drop below your rank. So as long as you're fighting people who are ranked higher than you, in terms of their arena rank, that number, you're going to be getting a positive modifier for that. And I think it probably goes without saying, something you've probably already realized about this particular team is that this Locke is going to do a lot worse against Sephiroth specifically, and that's why you're not really going to see any dark teams within this video. And while there are a lot of teams especially, but even a couple of units that can remove both re-raise and courage, the fact that they have to do it on 2 separate turns still gives me a little bit of a clock to keep Locke alive and keep Locke breaking people down one way or another. And that is enough for him to work in most scenarios. It is really only in the case that he can be one shot from full health by a guaranteed hit attack that removes both his re-raise and courage. That is really the scenario where this strategy, at least for that individual unit, breaks. So he, within this strategy, really still gets hard countered by Sephiroth in a pretty aggressive way. But there's a couple more videos yet to come. I'm actually starting to fear that I don't run into the really high level win team in this video or on Friday. Maybe that was, I think that might have been a Saturday thing, if not even a this morning thing. Although mainly I remember toilet paper from this morning because I fought them like 7 times in a row because I got stuck between like rank 115 and 110. Again, I might actually make the effort to take this team all the way into the top 100, but at this point, because I skipped the first 3 days of Arena again, it's going to be a little hard to get all the way there. I really should start with this team on Monday, tomorrow. Yes, yeah, Monday, tomorrow. That all checks out. But if you'd like, there is going to be another video, possibly with no voiceover whatsoever. You'll just have to get over it. I'm sorry. You'll hear my voice again, though, in a video going over a lot of the comment responses from the audience about the worldwide changes. And I just want to say I thank you so much for all of your comments on that. I think specifically because I asked you to help me out, I thank all the people who were telling me about the, I think it was Pack H, You know, I'm not a big roller high spender in this game. So, you know, when you're talking about the most expensive packs in the game, even though I did finally figure out, yes, I did get the discounted package once. But yeah, thank you for clarifying that stuff for me, because there's not like a wotv time machine where I can go back and see the old prices or the old shop layouts or anything. But also, just thanks for everybody who let their opinions be heard. You know, we're in this together. This is our game, so it's important that we hear from you as content creators, as other members of the community, as hopefully, you know, people with decision-making powers, at least within the global and now worldwide team, watch content like this. Maybe I can always hope that I'm maybe that influential. I don't know. Again, as I was saying with all the UI updates, and oh my god, oh by the way, has anybody tried the new mock battle update where it simulates all of your mock battles and shows you how you do against your entire guild, or as many of them as you want to see? Oh my god, there's so many great UI updates that I am so excited for and excited to talk about, and also show off the same team in mock battle. So that will also come probably after limited or towards the end of limited, just so I'm not spoiling what my guild is doing. Don't want to be a snitch. Snitches get stitches. And so do people who don't like and subscribe. You have watched over 21 minutes of this video. Take 2 seconds to hit the like and subscribe buttons. You know I've earned it. And if you'd like to see even more than a YouTube subscription can bring you, there's a link in the description of my link tree. You'll see links to the entire Jackie Fox Media empire. We've got videos, not even videos about video games, videos about like life and the hard things, the things that are difficult for us to talk about in the world. You'll also find podcasts and books, both fantasy fiction and realistic contemporary fiction. So whatever you're into, I might be able to give you a little bit of that if you check that link in the description. Thank you for being the beautiful, lovely, wonderful audience that you are, for sticking around to the end like this. I'll see you in the next one.